Hey everybody, I'm Joe the AI guy, and this tech talk is talking about how pig butchering scams, which are phone scams trying to get information from you, are now using AI to enhance their information and how they're attacking you. So it was reported last week that the pig butchering scams are on a rise recently, and that they are using AI to create things like deepfakes, as well as using generative AI to enhance their scripts and content that they're using for how they're attacking you. Multiple companies across the world are now using AI. It's not a surprise then that the scammers are also going to be trying to use. It's a very lucrative business for them. The estimate last year was that it was about $35 billion. That's billion with a B. They had gotten out of people, and a lot of these are in smaller countries, which for them is huge amounts of dollars. So how is AI being involved in this? Well, they could already fake or spoof people's phone numbers, but now they're using AI deepfakes to do things like video calls or voice verifications. And so with technology, it's pretty easy to quickly get to something that sounds or looks similar to someone that you already know. And actually how they begin this scam is that they will steal one of your friends or family members' information. They may get it, through social media or something like that, and then they essentially take on that persona when they're trying to reach out to you to scam you. And if you remember, a little over 6 years ago, Jordan Peele did a PSA. It first appeared as President Obama speaking, and then he over time revealed how he was doing it to make himself look like he was President Obama sitting in the Oval Office. And that was 6 years ago. At that time, it was, I'd say, closer to cutting edge. And now with the rise in AI, it's really easy to do so. 2 or 3 months ago, people were able to go through a package where it could make them look like any celebrity that they'd wanted to live in real time. Basically, if as I'm talking to you now, I could basically activate a filter to make myself look like someone else. So I could, make myself look like Michael Keaton or Tom Cruise, talk to you. And then it also had another function where it could allow you to have your voice modified to sound like those. So all of a sudden I could go from myself to being someone completely different. And that means that the technology has gotten more pervasive in these scams. Another thing that has enabled it too is the satellite internet technology, which has become really popular over the past, I'd say, about 2 years, especially with Starlink expanding globally, that they are able to get more stable internet connections, which means that they can maintain these filters in real time. Whereas before, if there were kind of choppiness or glitches, the filter would fall out first, and then you would realize that you're not talking to your family member, you're talking to somebody else. And so it's a multi-step process for this. First, they will steal the details of a friend or family member, likely through a compromised social media account. A lot of times, if you have, let's say someone steals your Facebook or Instagram login, they also then have all of your contacts along the way. So then if you've synced your phone book with them on your mobile device, then they now have access to all those phone numbers. And so they have an idea of who you are in relation to the person that you're talking to, and they have your phone number, and then they use the spoofing technology to make it look like it is their phone number that's reaching out and calling you. So that is basically the start of it. They also have their social media accounts, so they have access to things like pictures and video, so that they have enough information that they can then imitate that person with the deepfakes. So like I said, it needs just a few pictures, and then you have enough that you can make your face look completely like someone else. And then you need probably about 5 to 10 minutes worth of audio if you're doing very basic conversation, which is what they'll try to do. So then they have enough that they can fully imitate the person. And then they'll reach out to you and say, your family members in some type of like high pressure situation, like, oh, they lost their wallet and they need to pay for something. They got in a cab and need to pay money. Can you do this quick for me? And then they'll ask you to pay by credit card, pay by bank account, or send gift cards or cryptocurrencies. And then basically, as soon as that transfer has gone through, they're off with your money and you're out your couple $100. So what can you do to help prevent these? The first is always kind of be mindful of how people are contacting you. If it's a family member that doesn't usually call you regularly, or it calls you at certain times and all of a sudden they're calling you at a time that isn't usually, that this would be a red flag. Another thing would be they're unable to give you a clear location where they are currently and why they need this right now. They usually won't do it with close family members because you're kind of more aware of what their plans are, they'll usually go second or third level out from that. So that means things like cousins, uncles, grandparents, things like that, that aren't necessarily aware of your day-to-day plans and are trying to take advantage of your lack of information. Another thing that to keep an eye out is they're asking like, oh, it needs to be right now. I'm really stuck. Can you help me out with this? That is another red flag because again, it's the timeliness. They want you to make a quick impulse decision rather than trying to think about it more logically. Another huge red flag is if they ask you to pay via gift cards or using crypto to do this. A lot of times why they want this is because after the transfer, it's pretty much untraceable to their accounts, or it becomes really, really hard to do it, especially for a lot of the police agencies where they may not have the technology to track a crypto wallet or follow your transactions. And gift cards are basically you've prepaid for it, so they don't keep the transaction. As soon as it's gone through, essentially they said your money's been transferred out and we don't know where it goes after that. But another thing too is that they will try and ask you for bank details or account numbers. So think of this as another red flag. You shouldn't be giving out your bank information like over the phone or trying to do a direct transfer. A lot of times, if these are friends or families who you've Zelled or Venmoed before, you already have their contact info. You don't need to go out and use another new method to do those payments for them. So do be aware that they are on the rise, and like I said, their technology is getting better, that it makes it more, if you're not kind of being vigilant for stuff like these, that it becomes pretty easy to bypass kind of your natural defenses against it, and then you're out. In these cases, it's usually like $100 a pop, $200, and this is their job that they do all day, is just making these phone calls, trying to get the money out of you quickly and be on to the next one.
Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm Joe the Data Guy, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any questions about how to build AI tools and models for small businesses, drop them in the comments below. I'll be there to help you out. Until then, see you next time.